So like Logan and Christian and I are all church planners under mission boards or sending agencies or churches. And what would you suggest are ways to help move, like say, our mission boards and sending agencies towards an expectation of DMM being longer in the start and later picking up, whereas right now kind of the big thing is we're all going to launch in 1 year and everything's going to be there and we're going to have leadership and everything.
Yeah. That's a hard one. You know, depends on who that denominational executive is, and yeah, how much they want to build their resume, and you are part of that resume.
Yeah.
You know, I think you can expose them. You know, I would work with them just like I would work with anybody else, in the sense is that I meet someone new and I have this sense that, God wants me to move toward them. I start thinking about them and I put some filters on and say, okay, how do I perceive they take in information? Are they readers? Are they long reads, so they read books? Or are they short reads, so they read articles? Are they watchers? They'll go to YouTube and watch, 4 and 5 minute videos. Are they podcasters? What are they? And so I would, begin to think about them, and then I would just start a gardening project by planting, giving them these resources in a measured way. I'm not going to back the dump truck up, but in a measured way, give them, these resources in a timely fashion that would allow some conversation then in that process, to be able to say, hey, here's what we're up to. I think, I would expose them. Let me see if I can find this. I would expose them to just data, like the I was talking about. All right, so I would. Can you guys see that?
Yes, sir.
New followers of Christ, new churches. And here's what I'm talking about. If you look down here at 05, it starts actually at 03. They couldn't even measure. It's 2 years. They couldn't measure anything. And we're talking, look at we're talking sub-Saharan Africa now. Okay. So we're talking from West Africa to East Africa, below the Saharan desert. And that's, I don't know, 15, 20, maybe 25 countries. And it takes, that long for things to really ramp up. I would expose them to this kind of stuff, and say, hey, this investment here paid off royally in kingdom activity. But I do think that you need to emotionally accept the fact that you might be in a totally different game than they're in, and live that tension with the realization that if the finish line is when you get them to see life the way you see life, with that sending agency or whatever, if that's your emotional makeup, and that's where you're pressing toward, that could be a lifelong frustration. They might never see life the way you see it.
That's good to hear, and that sucks. So
it does. Yeah.
Okay. I was Steve. That was a good question, Steve. Just for our context, I was going to ask something similar, just with but I think you kind of. Let me ask this question, and it may be the same answer. I just want to see if you articulate it any differently. So we've been in Utah 10 years. Almost 2.5 years ago, we were multi-site. We sold our buildings. We moved into house churches, pursuing making disciples. So much backlash, I think, is what Steve was getting at, from Christians, like just ugly attacks. and I feel that part of me in my heart like wants to be like vindictive and like, like, you know, and I don't want to get bitter. And then I'm
Create
hearing,
t-shirts.
and then yeah. So then I'm like, but then I'm hearing you is like, maybe I don't even need to worry about that like that at all, because it's gonna, it's like my goal is to persuade them to be of the same opinion of me on. So Steve's asking about like those that sent us not feeling that support, and I'm talking about maybe people like other believers in general.
Yeah.
I mean, is it the same kind of? I mean, it's good to hear what you're saying, but I just wondered if I framed it differently, if there'd be any other perspective on it.
Well, so, you know, I have felt the same thing, Logan. You know, I wanted to, you know, print the t-shirts or, you know, give the gestures and,
Yeah.
um, drop the F-bomb, here, there, and everywhere.
On your t-shirt.
Yeah. So, yeah, in fact, I had a saw accident. I don't know if you could see that. I
Oh goodness.
touched the top of my circular saw with my finger. And, and so I was trying to demonstrate it to people, it's like, here's my,
Oh.
so I think, the way I have God has tempered me in this sense is a couple of things. There's a metaphor that I use for guys, and I think it's helpful if you're in a situation where you've taken over something. So you come into a situation. There was a group of people there before you were, and it's like a train, and a train's it's going from LA to New York. It's going cross country, and you get on in Omaha, and you're the new conductor of the train. And then all of a sudden you say, hey, it's really cold in New York, and it's crowded, and it's not healthy. It's real expensive. Let's go to Atlanta. And so you change the destination of the train to Atlanta. And then all of a sudden you're dealing with all these people who don't really buy into your vision of going to Atlanta. They don't see Atlanta like you see Atlanta. They bought a ticket to go to New York. I think a lot of people in situations, they're like that. My grandson's here. They bought a ticket for one destination, and you've changed the destination. I think it's legitimate for them to be upset. I mean, it's just you have changed the rules on them in that regard, and so I think we have to expect, that they're going to be upset. And that means we have to fight the big why battle. Why are we doing this? And oftentimes, especially in the DMM world, I think guys get caught in the what. They get caught up in the discovery, DBS, obedience-based society, and all the tactics of it. And they're hammering down on this. We need to do this. This is look what it's done overseas, as opposed to the why. And they don't they don't spend enough time focused on the why. So like, for instance, in new generations, what we've done with our training is start this habits training with focusing on the heart of God, and getting people in tune with God's heart. And his heart is he built a family. He gave them everything they needed. And basically, they flipped them off and said, we want more. We want to do something else, screwed up everything, and screwed up our world. And he has been involved in attempting to regather that family ever since. And so it's, hammering down on the why with those folks to realize, okay, what we're doing right now, is it working? Are we moving the needle on this process? Are we seeing, are we keeping up with population growth? Much less, getting ahead in terms of that. And in most places, you can demonstrate categorically that we're not, that there are very few conversions in the West. People just aren't coming to faith anymore. In fact, they're leaving faster than they're coming, so we just, build that why down there. around the Father's heart, and it does tend to give them an opportunity to react not to the tactic itself. So it's not like, we need to stop teaching, we need to stop doing this. Not, it's like, no, let's okay, there's a lot of things we do need to stop doing, but it's why we need to stop. It's more important. And that's what convinces those people to get off the New York train and want to get on, to the Atlanta train. I just think you have to expect it, because we are standing in 400 years, of collectional church. 400 years we have taught people these are the rules, and so when we come along and change the rules, it's difficult, and it's confusing to them, because it's like if I have a bat and a ball, and I have a base, and I say let's play, and you immediately think baseball. But if I'm from England, I could mean cricket, because it has a bat and a ball and a base. Totally different rules. There's no left field in cricket. It's 360-degree, circle, that kind of stuff. The rules are radically different. And so that's what we're doing with people, is we're changing the rules. And so we have to be patient with them, and we have to focus in on their mindsets. And that's why culture was so important for me. Their mindsets are, and what they bring to the table. You say words, you think, we all think we're really good communicators, and we work hard at crafting words and stuff like that. We say these words, and the fact is that they can mean something totally different in people's minds. And so it takes time and effort. It takes the kind of give and take in environments to test what they're hearing, to really see that they're getting what you're saying. They're getting these concepts of multiplication and stuff like that. So I don't know if I answered your question, Logan, but
No, that's good. That's good to hear. Thank you.
I mean, bottom line, you just have to accept the tension.
Yeah, well, and I think that's a good reminder.
Yeah.
I think I've been.
If the diffusions of innovation, you look at that curve, go out and, it's at 16%, and you realize, wow, if I got 16% of the people on my side, man, it's a home run. Yes.